Have you ever felt like the world is a stage, and everyone's acting in a play you never auditioned for? What if one quiet boy saw through the script and chose to rewrite his own life, one silent refusal at a time? Stick around, because his story might just twist your view of everything you thought was normal. He didn't stand out in a flashy way. He just never quite blended in. While the other kids crammed facts and spit them back like robots, he kept asking those nagging questions, the ones teachers brushed off because there was no time. He stayed quiet, not out of shyness, but because he was observing everything. He saw how everyone acted so sure of themselves, so okay with faking that life made perfect sense. He noticed adults clapping for kids who followed rules blindly, confusing good grades with being a good person, and treating quiet kids like they were just giving in. But deep inside, he sensed something was wrong. Not in a big, explosive drama, but in a subtle, nagging pull that wouldn't let go. He wasn't the rebel type, no yelling, no fights. He just couldn't join the pretend game. He didn't even know why at first. All he knew was that if he kept faking it, he'd lose a piece of himself forever. He couldn't put a name to it yet, but he felt it fading every time he lied to fit the crowd. So, slowly, he quit trying to be the good kid everyone expected. Instead, he started being real. He let go of wowing teachers, making relatives smile with fake achievements, and hunting for awards that would mean nothing in a decade. He wasn't aiming to be odd on purpose. He just couldn't fake it like the rest. His difference was Cool badge he wore proudly, was more like a hidden scar he could hide or erase. People labeled him weird, distant, or even slow. But the truth, he wasn't lagging behind. He was miles ahead, seeing what others missed. Picture this twist. One day in school, a big test came up. Everyone cheated or crammed overnight, desperate for that A. But he sat there, staring at the paper, wondering why any of it mattered if it didn't spark real curiosity. The teacher caught him daydreaming and scolded him in front of the class, calling him lazy. That could have crushed him, made him conform. But instead, it fueled his quiet fire. He realized the system rewarded actors, not thinkers. And right there, a challenge hit peer pressure like a storm. Friends ditched him, whispering he was throwing his future away. Loneliness crept in, testing if he'd break and join the herd. But he didn't. He held on, finding solace in books about inventors who faced the same isolation. Like Nikola Tesla, a genius stuck in a world that couldn't handle his vision. Tesla didn't storm the streets demanding change. He didn't shout from rooftops. He simply wouldn't betray what his mind showed him. No marriage, no selling out for cash, no playing fame games. He hid in the shadows, not because he flopped, but because society wasn't ready. While others grabbed spotlight and funding, Tesla tinkered, alone, broke, overlooked, but always true to himself. People mocked him, ignored his ideas, even erased his name from history books. But guess what? Today's world hums with his inventions. Every light bulb, every power grid, it's all from the dreams he chased in solitude when no one believed. Tesla didn't crave cheers. He just couldn't lie to his own soul. And this quiet boy, he carried that same unbreakable silence. He didn't crave an uprising. He wanted clear sight. Not crowds cheering him, but freedom from the fake. He didn't dream of ditching the world he wanted out of the endless show. He watched the social climbs, the fake images people built, the cookie-cutter jobs everyone chased. A voice inside whispered, "This isn't real life." It never yelled, but it never quit. While friends bragged about dreams online, he guarded his truth like a secret weapon, not out of fear, but because he wouldn't cheapen it. He had no map for where this lead, but he knew the crowd's path was a dead end. No full answers yet, but one truth burned bright. Live someone else's life, and you'll die their empty death too. So he picked a different road. Not flashy or loud, just honest. Not to impress, but to own it. In that quiet space, he unlocked what most never touch. A life no one could buy, boss, or box in. One that wouldn't eat him alive from within. He didn't fit because he wasn't built to. He didn't rebel. He'd already grown past the game. He refused a part in a tale he didn't author. And that sparked it all. As he grew, the noise amped up. Grind hard. Wait patiently. Keep low. Your moment's coming. It sounded like hope, but felt like chains. Life starts after school, they said then, after landing a job, a raise, a house, retirement. But he looked around. People in their 40s, 60s, still waiting. Cash in the bank, but no hours to enjoy it. Comfort everywhere, but zero purpose. Schedules packed, but no clue why. Just a bit longer, they'd mutter, buying time in a trap they never picked. Here's a gut punch twist. He met an old mentor at work. A guy who'd climbed the ladder for decades. On the surface, success story, big house, fancy car. But over coffee, the man confessed, "I waited my whole life for retirement. Now I'm here, and I feel lost. My kids don't know me, my health's shot from stress." That hit like lightning. The mentor died a year later, not from illness, but a broken spirit. No more waiting games. That challenge shook our guy. Could he end up the same? Doubt flooded in, tempting him to play safe. But he pushed back, vowing not to postpone his soul. He saw it clear. This wasn't drive. It was forgetting who you are. Not growing up. It was sleepwalking. Folks weren't alive, they were delaying life. Men retired at 65. Then crumbled. Not from idle hands, but empty hearts. Stories poured in, of guys gone within 2 years. Post-retirement. Not sick bodies, but lives built on someday that never came. When someday hit, nothing remained. Seneca nailed it. People guard cash tight, but toss life away like trash. He felt that sting. Obsessed with investments, policies, rates, but blind to time theft in unwanted lives. Save every dollar, burn every minute on borrowed dreams. Warned against wasting money, never about wasting you. So he halted. Dropped the myth that life kicks off later. Quit chasing freedom as some distant prize. What if life starts now, when you quit delaying your true self? What if the whole setup traps men in endless work, dangling someday like bait? He saw it in faces quiet, give up weary eyes screaming, "This ain't what I pictured." Too late to pivot, they'd sigh, but he called bluff. It's not too late, just later than promised. Quietly, no fanfare, he decided. No more slaving for a maybe life. No sacrificing now me for future stranger. He'd begin today, not by torching his job, selling stuff, or vanishing to woods. He just quit self-lies. Stopped scheduling his real self for next year. Tiny shifts. Showed up real. Talked deliberate. Ignored pointless stuff. Didn't hunt freedom, he lived it. In how he breathed easy. He eyed his life cold. Not chosen, just handed. School, scores, degrees, ranks, taxes, loans, duties. No signature on that contract, it snuck in like default settings. Called freedom. Felt like programming. Question it. Nah, just obey nicely. Good men win the game, they claimed. But he unmasked it's the whole setup. Success definitions, maturity rules, even manhood ideals. None his, yet they molded him. All passed down like handmade. He once read that most of us just follow habits, not logic. And that thought cracked him wide open. He looked around and saw it everywhere. The clothes we wear, the small talk we make, the jobs we take, the way we love, fight, and even age it, all felt copied. Echoes of ideas and dreams that weren't really ours. We just keep repeating them until our own voice disappears. But he didn't start a protest or rally a crowd. He just stopped. He stopped saying yes to things he didn't believe in. That one tiny word, no, became his quiet revolution. Because a person who goes off script is a person who can't be controlled. Suddenly, there was freedom without needing anyone's approval. Clarity without begging for likes. He thought about innovators like Tesla, a man who refused to play the game. No wife, no obsession with money, no changing his brilliant ideas to please investors. He walked away from fame, and for a while, history forgot him. Others stole his credit, but he stayed true to his vision. He knew he'd be misunderstood, but that wasn't his problem to solve. He lived his truth, no matter the cost. He died broke and alone, yet entire cities now glow with the light from his mind. He didn't need fame while he was alive. He just refused to betray himself. Our guys saw a piece of himself in that story. He didn't hate the world. He just couldn't lie to be a part of it anymore. He didn't want to escape. He just wanted to end the pretense. So, one choice at a time, he started ditching the life he never actually agreed to. He still went to work, paid his bills, and greeted his neighbors. But behind every yes was a firm no to anything that drained his soul. He didn't delete his accounts. He just quit chasing visibility. He didn't become a hermit. He just stopped selling his soul for a sense of belonging. This wasn't a revolt. It was an act of self-respect. He said no to meaningless obligations, to friendships that felt like a performance, and to wearing a mask that made him itch. He didn't lose his real connections. He lost the fake ones. And with them, the anxiety, the resentment, and the exhaustion just vanished. For the first time, there was space for the person he'd buried long ago. He remembered the words of Seneca. The strongest person is the one who has power over themselves. He wasn't trying to rule over others, just his own presence. He stopped rushing, chasing, and proving. He spoke a little slower. He paused a little longer. He didn't need to win arguments because he had nothing to sell. He just finished faking it. Finished apologizing for his existence. Finished trying to shine for people who couldn't see. People thought he was burning out. But he wasn't. He was just done fueling things that were hollow. His life became simpler. Less noise, less performance, less flash. And in their place, more real, quiet, alive moments. His ambition wasn't to climb a ladder, but to build something meaningful. His freedom wasn't about having more choices, but needing fewer things. He had finally quit playing a game he never wanted to win. And in that quiet space, he heard it for the first time in years. His own voice, raw, unsold, and uncut. He wasn't running from the world. He was finally walking toward himself. But life wasn't done with him. A crisis hit. He lost his job in a sudden layoff, and the bills started piling up. Friends told him, just play the game. Fake some enthusiasm for the interviews. The temptation to conform was deafening. Doubt stormed in. Was this quiet path a huge mistake? But he faced it head on. He used the downtime to dive deeper, reading, reflecting, and tinkering with small inventions. Then, an old idea sparked a breakthrough. He landed freelance work that was actually aligned with his truth. It wasn't riches, but it was rich with meaning. He emerged stronger, proving that challenges are what forge an unbreakable spirit. Years later, another twist. A health scare forced him to face his own mortality. He wondered if all his refusals had been worth it. But in recovery, he knew the answer was yes. Every no had built a life of incredible depth. Superficial relationships faded away, but the true ones bloomed. Through it all, a single question pulled him forward. What if more of us refused the script? What hidden truths are waiting for us in the silence? Now, imagine for a moment. What if you took that first quiet step? What in your life would shift? If this story stirred something in you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of quiet rebels. And let me know in the comments, what's one pretense you're ready to drop? Let's start building real lives together right now.